Once, long ago, there was a jester named Jevil. This jester worked for the court of the Card Kingdom, entertaining the four kings with his silly antics. Along with the jester, there was also a court mage. This mage was named Sham. The mage and the jester, Sham and Jevil, were the only ones in the king's court that could keep up with each other. As such, they often liked to play games with each other. This went on for a while, until, one day, the jester met a mysterious someone. After meeting this someone, he began to change. He started to say things that didn't completely make sense, but also didn't completely not make sense. Soon after this change, another one occurred. The jester started to see the world as just a game, and everyone in it was its participants. Soon, Sham, the mage, the only one who could keep up with Jevil, was forced to lock him away. Or, as Jevil would put it, lock everyone else away. For a long time after that, this jester had been locked away deep in the basement of the card castle, waiting for someone, anyone, to make the journey down to his basement and find the 3 parts of the key in order to free him. One day, long after that jester had been locked up, a human and a monster arrived into the Card Kingdom. The human, called Chris, led the monster, called Susie, as well as a prince of the dark, called Rouse, into the Card Kingdom to seal their dark fountain. Together, they were known as the Fun Gang. These 3 went on a long and treacherous journey, and made at least one friend along the way, until, long story short, they ended up locked in the Card Castle's prison. However, they managed to escape their imprisonment, and this was where their relevance to this story truly began. When they entered the elevator to get back to the main floor, they saw a mysterious floor they could travel to. The 3 decided to go to that floor and found a long, long staircase leading to a lonely little cell. The Fun Gang, being brave that day, journeyed down that staircase. They nervously walked up to the cage, and immediately, Jevil, who had previously been locked away in that very same cage all those years ago, started speaking to them. He spoke in strange rhythms and rhymes. He claimed to be innocent, despite being locked away from the rest of society, and that the boring kings found such fun to be a trouble. He then asked the 3 heroes to go find the key that is hidden from the eyes, and directed them to the old shopkeep. The Fun Gang were confused at first. Who could the strange prisoner possibly be talking about, they wondered. Then they remembered. They remembered the old shopkeeper named Sham they had spoken to earlier on their journey, and decided to ask them if they knew anything about the strange prisoner. The shopkeeper was shocked, astounded. Why did these 3 want to release their old colleague from the prison they had worked so hard to put him in all those years ago? But, with some convincing, the Fun Gang was finally able to convince them to tell where the 3 key parts were. Sham helped on this quest by giving the gang their first key piece. They also gave the 3 a hint as to where one of the others would be. Walk where the stars don't shine, and thus, the heroes were off once again. The Fun Gang were walking back to the castle, pondering the hint Sham had given them, when they remembered a puzzle they had encountered earlier, yet were unable to solve at the time. They made their way back to that puzzle, located just before the start of the Great Board. The instructions stated that the solver must put the symbols as the same order of the rooms in the card castle, from bottom to top, to solve the puzzle. Now that the gang had been through the whole of the castle, they could solve the puzzle with ease. Diamond, heart, club, spade, and thus, the second piece was obtained. The Fun Gang had now just one more part to find. Walk where the stars don't shine. Where could that be, they wondered, before they eventually realized that the Scarlet Forest had the answer. The 3 made their way there, to a beautiful room where the stars were aplenty. They looked and they looked all through the room, until they found a path hidden from the eye, only marked by the absence of any light. Down they walked and up they went, until they found a chest and the key piece inside. Now the 3 just needed assembly, and luckily, they knew just the smith to do it. They made their way back to the bake sale in the forest prior, where they knew there was one who could help them. Up they went into the room above, and here the master smith lived, laughed, and loved. They spoke to the smith, who was eager to help. However, once the key was finished, he warned them not to use it. That didn't stop these 3 though, and off they went, back to the card basement.
They go.
The Fun Gang, having restored the key, went back to the basement from whence they started this quest. Down they went, through the elevator and down the stairs, back at the cell, unknowing of what would happen to them next. They held a key to the cage and a door it made, and in they walked and the jester they faced. The mad clown challenged the 3-2 challenge. A simple numbers game, he said. The premise, when your HP reaches 0, you lose.
I can do anything.
The fight was long and the fight was difficult. However, after a long while of much trial, was eventually won. This fight is a very, very interesting one, as one could complete it in a multitude of ways. 2. That's a multitude. The first way the three could complete it was by being quite nice, by wearing him out, and by biding for time. If they hypnotized him enough, as well as pirouetted, they could tire him up and put him to sleep. He sleeps for 100 years, still even to this very day. However, he warned the Fun Gang of a terrible nightmare that would soon come their way. Should he be defeated this way, he turns to their side and becomes a Jevil's Tail, a valuable piece of armor. However, there is more to be seen. If the Fun Gang went dark and defeated him with brute force, he would commend their speed, yet would warn of others who are yet more powerful than these three. He would speak once again of a great calamity, and question the three if they can stop this inevitability. He would give them himself as a weapon, the Jevil's Knife, a valuable asset that could stop any foe straight in its tracks. After the fight, the Fun Gang returned to the mysterious shopkeep known as Sham. They told them of their victory, and Sham commended them, yet warned of stronger yet stronger foes they would now have to face in the future. From there, the Fun Gang's involvement in this particular story would end, with the world saved from eternal imprisonment. At least, that's how Jevil would have described it. From here, these three would go on to do many other courageous and brave acts, but those are a story for another time. The end.
Hey guys, I just want to pop in here at the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching the first part. That's got a lot of views. Like, wow. I didn't think it would ever get that funny, but I'm not complaining. This was recorded around the same time as that video, so future videos won't sound like this. They'll sound hopefully better. Sorry if the audio is bad right now. I lost my mic, so I'll have to find it or get a new one, probably better one. Yeah, I made that like 4 years ago, which is time flies. Now we've got 5 chapters to go through instead of just 2, but I mean, hey, I'm gonna make part 2, and if that goes well, then hopefully part 3, 4, 5 for chapters 3, 4, and 5, and then eventually 6 and 7. Nice. So again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a bit shorter than the last one, but I put a lot of work into it, a lot of work editing it. So enjoy. Thank you. Bye bye.